All the men of thy confederacy have
Louder,
brought
I'm sorry.
thee.
Louder.
All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him.
Okay. So all the men of your confederacy. The definition of confederacy is a league or alliance. All your allies bring you to your border. You wonder why Trump focused on that wall. The men that was at peace with you have deceived you. The men that you have done wartime treaties with have deceived you. The nations you once fought, but now are your allies, have deceived you. Okay? And combined, check this out. And combined, they prove more superior in strength and power and influence. So all the men of your confederacy combined are more powerful than you. And they deceived you. The nations that you have been dropping aid to, the people you've been giving food to. Before Japan was your ally, they were your enemy. So let's find out, what does it say about eating? The nations who what? Eat your bread? Read that part, just that part.
They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee.
Okay, check this out. Let's find out who been eating America's bread and sipping. I shouldn't count the nations who sip our Starbucks. Right? That's what we do. We'll fight you, set up Starbucks in your country and McDonald's in your country. Right? Picking the flesh off of your very people. And then we'll put poisonous corporations in your, that's killing us. We'll put them in your land. Right? But check out who's physically eating America's bread. Afghanistan, Iraq, Israel, Jordan, Ethiopia, South Sudan, Kenya, Pakistan, Nigeria, Uganda, all eat the bread of America. Matter of fact, $46 billion in 2017 was given to those nations. I say combined. Right? That's how much bread was given out. It is safe to say those places eat the bread. Obadiah 1 and 8.
Shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and the understanding out of the mount of Esau?
Oh, Esau. Oh, Mr. Superior. Oh, those who call yourselves white. Oh, on that day, you think I, the Lord, won't destroy your top businesses, won't destroy your top Catholics, your top engineers, your top Jesuits, your top economists, your investment bankers, your DARPA, your Lockheed Martin, your historians, your D-Wave engineers, your quantum mechanics, the zeros and ones running the opposite way. None of them will be able, none of your wise men will be able to understand why it's your turn, why this is happening to you. See, but what they don't understand is white supremacy has food and millions of lower-end white people that this ain't coming. And you, my brothers and sisters, who when I asked you, you ready to leave, and you had the audacity to tell me this is the greatest nation on earth. Not for you. It ain't been that way for you. The greatest nation on earth off of your back. So you in the belly of the beast, you eat better, granted. You in the belly of the beast. Life is better. There's a price to pay, right? When God put you here, he knew what he was doing. It was a part of your judgment. I'll get into that in a second. It says, let me read one verse 9.
And thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter.
Just the little children? Or everyone?
Everyone.
Just the soldiers? What does the Bible say?
It says everyone.
What about just the 1%? The one that's been lying to everybody else?
Everyone.
Your great day of slaughter is coming. Everyone out of the mouth of Esau. And if you understand the Bible, it's not a spiritual book, it's a history book. It'll teach you the people Esau has blended with. And we track our genealogy according to the men, not the women. Everyone out of the mount of Esau. You show me in history where the entire mount and everybody connected to Esau was slaughtered. You show me in history where Esau was slaughtered. Children too. Oh, brother, that's the Old Testament. Don't be a goofy. You can't prove this in history. The Bible is not a fictitious book. It coincides with history. Ask the people who told you you were black, then told you you were colored, then changed your classification as a human being or as a people a lot of times to confuse you as to who you truly were. But this wasn't for. Your pastor may not have taught you this because this wasn't for certain times. This is for now. God revealing things to his children now. God is awakening the children of Israel as to who they are now. So yeah, your pastor taught you was a Gentile, and he still may be doing it out of ignorance. Everyone out of the mount of Esau will be slaughtered. Let's go to 1 and 10.
For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee.
Esau have I, what? Jacob have I,
loved,
and Esau have I
hated.
So yes, the white man is your brother. Esau is your brother. Those who consider themselves superior. White supremacy is global. That's why you got the Chinese trying to bleach their skin. Trying to do the porcelain doll thing because white supremacy has affected Mr. Yellow too. We already know how white supremacy has affected us. We already know how our brother has affected us. Read that again.
For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee.
Stop. For the boiling of bodies, to study intact skeletons at your Harvard and your Yale, at your Ivy League universities. You boiled the bodies of slaves. You boiled the children of Israel to rip their skin off
For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee.
Stop. For the spikes you drove in the babies' heads. For all your medical doctors that promoted the cognitive dissonance that said niggas don't feel pain. Read.
And thou,
No. Start again.
for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee.
For the gang rape. For the castration of black men. Because one day you saw that he had a bigger phallus than you. All of a sudden, you knew what you was doing to his woman. You want to cut off his because you thinking he got the same mentality as you. Because he's your brother. Surely my brother thinks like me, even though this is my time and my season to reign over him. Check out Christopher Columbus' Prophecy. That's a book. It's pretty, not cheap, but it's worth it. Read it again.
For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee.
For the raping of men on buck farms. Huh? You need your black buck broken in. Stick one in his butt. We'll break him in around here. Esau. That's you. You did that. You used to cover the head of a slave. Cover his mother's head. And make him have sex with her. From which the term MF came. Who had a history of doing that? That's not our culture. But you, the evil, the violence. What kind of man covers another man's head? That you are using to grow your slave population. Huh? And have him have sex with his mother. You are the devil the Bible speaks of. Because you allow the devil to use you in this capacity historically. And current day. Ain't nothing changed. Read.
For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever.
Huh. For the beatings that led to us dying, you beat many of us to death. Jacob have I loved, but you told the whole world. You showed the whole world. This nigger is nothing but a nuisance. He's a problem. But when we get free from chattel slavery, first thing we didn't do was go grab your woman. We did not go to do that. Because you know you are a brother, you think the same thing in us is in you, and it's not. We are the chosen people of the Most High, who were being disobedient. We were being disobedient. Read it again.
For thy violence against thy brother brother Jacob's shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever.
For using the children as gator bait. For your female slave owners, which is just now coming out thanks to that wonderful sister out there in California. For giving our children to your children as property. Read it from the beginning.
For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee.
For the diseases you've given us, for the inventions that you've stolen, for the churches that you bomb, for the Hebrew bodies you hang for more than just trees, for all the unpaid wages. This eagle nation had a head start of a lifetime, brutalizing every aspect of life, working us so hard that the bone breaks and the muscles tear away from the bone. You know how hard you got to work a man for his muscles to tear away from his bone? Read it again.
For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever.
All the quartering, all the drugs you planted, all the communities you sent radiated milk to, all the lead in the water you refused to change, all the tobaccos you spit on the babies who suffocated in a game called Baby Dodger, all the brothers' heads you cracked when you would take him on a tour around the country for people to throw lead balls in his head and crack his skull. The adult version of the game called Nigga Dodger. All that violence you did to Jacob, Esau, for all the biblical lies you told, all the water holes you used, all the evil you inflicted, all the prejudiced doctors who were used as a hand of white supremacy to eliminate niggers. That's you, Esau. Let's go to Obadiah 1 and 11.
In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou wast as one of them.
You were there. Read that from the beginning.
In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou wast as one of them.
You were there when they was drawing straws, saying, how we going to divide up this people? How we going to take their land? When you were there when they conspired against us. Pause that for me, Mom. You were drawing straws, saying, how we going to split up this people? Read 1 and 12.
But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger.
Hold on. You cut him off at the border. You the one saw your brother trying to escape and said, back to captivity for you. There's only one group of people that matches biblically. Who stopped the children of Israel trying to escape here? Esau. Slave catchers. They found you in the north in Canada and tried to bring you back down south. And in New York and wherever slavery was still, chattel slavery was active. Because you're still in the land of your bondage, Jacob. 1 and 12, please.
But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger. Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress.
Oh, who spoke proud in the day of distress? Hamite, Africa, when you sold us from among you because you knew we weren't the same people. And the white man has used that as an excuse all these years. Well, you sold yourselves into slavery. No, they didn't. The Hamite and the children of Israel are two different people. Ham is not the progenitor of the Negro. Ham is not the progenitor of all the dark races. The Negroes are separate people. The children of Israel were separate people. But somebody was happy when you got on that ship. When your ship to shore moment happened. Somebody was excited, Jacob. Who was excited when they cut you off from escaping? Esau? Were you excited? Scripture says you was. 1 and 14, please.
Neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape. Neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress.
Oh. So everybody didn't get caught, did they? But the ones who didn't get caught, you delivered them up. I found some more, boss. Huh? You delivered them up for filthy lucre's sake. Why? Because slavery, the scattering of the children of Israel, the ship to shore moment, everybody, the whole world conspired against you. That's why God had to scatter you to the four corners. It wasn't just for your judgment's sake, it was for your protection as well, because when you all in one place, they're looking to destroy you. The Bible says they drew straws. Who gonna do this? Who gonna do that? Who gets this? Who gets that? 1 and 15.
For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee.
As thou hast done? Read it again.
As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee.
You gonna reap what you sow in this lifetime. As you have done, it shall be done unto you. See, that's the part that's hard for y'all to wrap your mind around. Those who white supremacy has been indoctrinated in, you believe and you reap what you sow, but you don't believe it's all for this man. Obadiah says different. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Is that 1 and 15 you just read?
Thy reward shall return upon thine own head.
The return of Christ is soon approaching. For all of you who are outside the tribe, for all of you who have not been grafted in, Christ came to break down the wall of partition between Jew, Israelite, and Gentile. You ain't adopted, then are accepting of Christ. Slow down some of the things that we are experiencing in our captivity, yes. But there were some saved brothers who still got lynched. It didn't stop his judgment. Salvation does not stop your judgment. It just says, hey, when your judgment happens to you, when you reap what you sow, whether you saved or unsaved, when you die, you still know where you're going. That's what a faith is about. God judging you, saved or unsaved. Now we got Esau, who God used to teach a bastardized version of the Bible back into your disobedient self in the land of your captivity. 1611, King James, right there. What were you at 1611? Before they handed you the slave Bible, you knew who you were. There's evidence of it right here in Savannah. Hebrew writing on the sides of the pews in the first slave church. Revelations 13 and 10.
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
Okay. So he that leadeth into captivity, just to back up what Obadiah was saying, that's a prophecy alert. If you or your ancestors have led the captivity, but we hear this from Esau all the time. I didn't do it. I could look at them and say the same thing. I have no business here in America. I didn't disobey God. I got saved. I'm living righteously. Right? I'm living all that I know. I didn't do it. But that does not affect my judgment. 60 years ago, more of us were truly saved. Right? They didn't do it either. But it didn't stop them from being lynched. And they primarily were lynching the successful Negro. The one who owned something. Why? Because he gave hope to the one who didn't. Trying to tell me all of them weren't saved? We didn't do it. We didn't disobey God. Huh? But the judgment fell upon us during our watch. So if your grandfather take you out to eat, and he tell you, son, eat whatever you like, have at it. You drinking? We drinking top shelf tonight. Louis the 13th for everybody. Yeah, I got all my grandsons here at this dinner table. You eating? Top steaks for everybody. Top steaks for everybody. We got the best chef in town cooking for us tonight. Your grandfather took you out to eat. And your grandfather gets up and goes to the bathroom and leaves you at that restaurant. Who got to pay that tab? You do, Esau. Your grandfather let you eat sumptuously, but he left. How did he leave? He died. But he passed the bill on to you. So it falls on your generation's watch. What did our ancestors do? They disobeyed God. You can check it in the scriptures. Following after other gods. Sacrificing our babies to Molech. Being disobedient. Worshiping other idols. We in the land of Ham doing what the Hamites do, because Jesus said, when you see Israel compassed about with Roman armies, flee to the mountains. You in West Africa doing what the West Africans do. You scattered throughout Africa doing what they do, celebrating as they celebrate. But some of you kept your dietary laws. You can go there to Africa now. And still some of them keep the same dietary laws. That's how you point out who they are. You're like, oh, you still eating like this. But you've been here all this time. Why you eating like that? They don't eat like that. You should operate like, oh, because the children of Israel, they should scattered. Scattered. He that leadeth into captivity will go into captivity. Let's go to, I think that's Revelations 1 verse 16.
And he had in his right hand 7 stars.
No, I'm sorry. Obadiah 1 to 16, sorry.
For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they have not been.
You got wasted in my holy place. So you, heathen, will continue to drink. And you're going to swallow this. And you're going to be different. 1 to 17.
But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions.
Oh, Esau. Not only will you reap what you sow, Jacob gonna possess your possessions. Huh? Jacob takes your Bentley. Jacob takes your Lambo. Jacob takes your exotic animals. Jacob takes your mansions, your yachts, your businesses, your food, your clothes. Show me in history where this has happened already. It hasn't. Where God has returned to Esau the evil he has done to his brother Jacob. It has not. 1 and 18.
And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them, and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it.
Jacob and Joseph's bloodline gonna be lit. But you, O house of Esau, your bloodline will be destroyed. I am God. I'm the Most High, and when I say it's final, it's final. This is why God's mercy endureth for such a long time. He gives everybody a space and time. Prophecy alert. Prophecy alert. Let's go to Isaiah 11:11. See, Israel, I gotta show you how you come out of this. See, because now we know what happens to Esau. Now we know what happens to that eagle nation, America. So what's next? Now that that's happening, where are you in all this, watching his judgment arise? Where were you when God started judging Pharaoh that time? You were in Goshen, away from it. God said, it don't read nothing about you gonna be away from it now. This is why you must be saved. This is why at this time, Esau, if you are a heathen, you must be saved and grafted in. Why? So the judgment don't hit you as hard. It's going to hit you. But salvation, God's mercy can say, well, you know what? It's like, because there's some things that befell me didn't befall my cousins. Why? I'm third generation saved man. Some things that befell them, I ain't never seen. And we was doing the same stuff. Why? Because if you forget the laws of your God, he will also forget your children. So that applies to us as a people. We forgot the laws of God. He sent Christ. We still rejected him full well. God said, I'll open up to everybody. I'll open it up to everybody. 11:11, Isaiah, go.
And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people.
Oh. Is this the return of Christ? I don't believe so. See, because he said he's going to return again and recover the remnant of his people, which means when Esau is being judged, some of y'all are going to die. Because he only pulling out a remnant. I'm going to prove it to you. God's going to recover only the remnant of his people from all over the earth. 11 and 12, go.
And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from their four corners of the earth.
All nations will see the sign of the Lord and will gather the outcasts of Israel and put Judah and pull Judah from the four corners of the earth. Read 13.
The envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off.
Okay.
Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim.
Oh, Ephraim, which some people think are the current day Puerto Ricans. I have no proof for that. I have no proof for that. I know my brothers by their bondage, though. I know the children of Israel by their captivity and how they're treated, according to Obadiah 1 and 1, right? But Ephraim not going to be jealous, and the enemies of Judah shall be gone. Ephraim won't be jealous, and Judah will not annoy and frustrate Ephraim. See, Judah and Ephraim have a history. Judah got a history of being jealous of Ephraim. God said, no more. No more. And Judah, Ephraim has a history of being jealous of Judah, and Judah has a history of frustrating and annoying Ephraim. We got to look to see who we as a people that does this to another group of people that's still our people. Okay? Let's go to 11 and 14.
But they shall fly upon the shoulders of the Philistines toward the west.
Okay.
They shall spoil them of the east together.
Okay.
They shall lay their hands upon Edom and Moab, and the children of Ammon shall obey them.
Let me explain that to you. Judah and the tribes will fly. How do you think about it? How does one fly on the shoulders of the Philistines and escape the land? Did I say he's going to draw you from the four corners of the earth? How does one fly on the shoulders of the Philistines? Who is the current day Philistines? These people still exist. So if we interpret this correctly, it says Judah and the tribes will fly in planes of the Philistines, and the west will destroy the people of the east together. Come here, son. Judah and Ephraim will put hands on Edom, and Moab and the descendants of Ammon will fall in line. Who are these people? Have a seat. Verse 16.
And there shall be an highway for the remnant of his people, which shall be led from Assyria, like as it was to Israel in the day that he came up out of the land of Egypt.
So this ain't that captivity. You can't say it is. Because where on earth had God drew all the children of Israel from the four corners of the earth? And it's been documented. The Bible didn't document this because it hasn't happened yet. It is going to happen. Prophecy alert. Let's go to Genesis 15 and 13.
And he said unto Abram, Know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years.
Okay. Abraham, your children will be strangers in a land that don't belong to them. And they will serve their masters and those nations will cause pain and suffering. And they're going to do a 400-year Savannah, just rang the bell about the first ship that came here. About you being here 400 years. It was just on the news about 2 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. They just did the ceremony. Out there on Titan. Just did the ceremony. Rang the bell. Last year, Trump signed a 400-year bill that didn't get the publicity for those who don't know. Right? There's no reason they talking reparations for you now. God is not a friend of unpaid wages. You gonna get it. Read 14.
And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge.
We just got finished reading about Esau's judgment. We just got finished reading about Esau's judgment. We just got finished reading about it. The nation whom you shall serve. See, God put you here for you to serve these people, but they went too far. The evil that they done. But he said it. He told Abraham in the beginning of Genesis. Let's see if this, people say, oh, brother, that's just an Old Testament thing. Well, if it happened already, why does it say the exact same thing in Acts? Let's go to Acts chapter 7, verse 6 through 7.